There's a storm inside burning louder every day, and it's not going away. That nagging voice that screams, "You're meant for something bigger, something beyond all the noise, the rules, the so-called truths they shove down your throat." This feeling is real. It's not just a passing thought. It's the crack in the system, the split between ordinary and extraordinary. You see it every day. You watch talent get wasted, brilliance get buried beneath layers of bureaucracy, politics, and meaningless rituals masquerading as progress. It's frustrating as hell, watching people who dig deeper, who burn harder, who dream bigger, get swallowed by a system designed to reward the average and sideline the exceptional. You've felt it, haven't you? That chokehold when you realize no matter how sharp your mind is, no matter how many sleepless nights you pour into breakthroughs, the system won't make space for your kind of brilliance. It doesn't know how. It can't handle it. It wants safe and predictable, not wild and unpredictable. Mediocre is easier to manage, easier to sell, easier to control. The world doesn't want rare anymore. It wants replicable, scalable, neat little formulas that fit the mold. So where does that leave brilliance? The flashes of genius that don't just fit the mold, but burn it down and build something entirely new? That's the raw problem. The system is a cage, a trap dressed up in promises. It promises freedom, but hands out chains made of conformity. It promises equality, but rewards safety, not excellence. It promises growth, but punishes those willing to break every rule to make it happen. The reality is, brilliance is everywhere. People filled with wild ideas, unstoppable energy, vision that can reshape industries and the world itself, but they're left stranded. Isolated brilliance can't change the game. It can't break the ceiling alone. So here's the brutal truth you might not want to hear. Brilliance can't just be a spark here and there. It needs to be cultivated. It needs a system, but not the one you know. Not the one built to preserve the status quo. It needs a system designed to set it free. A real setup that doesn't kill the fire with rules and red tape, but channels it. A system that's not about multiplying numbers or matching KPIs, but about aligning force, bringing together those rare minds, that edge, that hunger, in one place. Because brilliance, real brilliance, never works alone. It thrives in connection, in contrast, in relentless challenge, in collaboration with those who see the world like you do, but bring new weapons to the fight. Think about it for a second. What if every broken promise of freedom was replaced with true autonomy? What if instead of being processed and packaged into some role or title, your individual brilliance had a space to fuel itself and others, without compromise, without apology? This isn't fantasy. It's necessary. Because the old framework has no room for the few who will change everything. It's designed to mute them, to stop the fight before it starts. But what if the system that's been broken and hollow, forged in comfort and mediocrity, was replaced by a network that only exists to empower the radical, the misunderstood, the underestimated? This is about more than ideas. It's about unlearning everything that holds you down. The rules you've swallowed, that tell you what's possible, that dictate how you should play, when you should speak, who you should trust. It's about rejecting the narrative that says you can only become something by fitting in or waiting your turn or chasing approval. Most of all, it demands ruthless honesty, with the people around you, with the goals you believe in, and with your own limits. Because the fire within isn't a flicker, it's a wildfire waiting to be unleashed. But wildfires don't grow in cages. They seek oxygen, fuel, and space. That's what a system for brilliance has to give you. Space to grow, to clash, to build and tear down and rebuild again, to become who you were meant to become. You might feel trapped because no one else seems to get this. You're far from alone in that feeling. The world wants to narrow your focus, standardize your talents, shrink your ambitions into something manageable. But you already know that settling means dying a little every day. You're done with that. What's needed isn't simply a place that acknowledges brilliance. You need a place that hunts it, that treasures it, that surrounds it with fire as intense as your own, so the heat only makes you stronger. Brilliance, in this sense, is not just a trait you're born with. It's a force to be harnessed, a muscle to be trained, but not alone, not in isolation. The big secret many founders, investors, and leaders miss is that the edge only stays sharp when you're cut against others who are just as hungry. The system that crushes brilliance is the system that rewards conformity. The system that builds it, then unleashes it, is the system that thrives on selective connection and ruthless alignment. Imagine a network where the rare don't find competition, but fuel. A place where difference is strength, where contrast is not division, but a powerful bond. This isn't some utopia. It's a necessity, a new operating system for progress, because true progress never follows the center, the crowd, the easy path. It pushes the boundaries, shakes the foundations, and leads with the rebels, the visionaries, the misfits, the ones who refuse to live borrowed lives. This might sound dangerous, because it is. It's uncomfortable to ask your brilliant self to abandon certainty and comfort and plunge into something unknown but alive. It's scary to be called out, to be selected, to be tested, because not everything is meant for everyone. That's the point. This system is for the few willing to burn rather than bend, the few sharp enough to see through illusion, patient enough to play the long game, brave enough to build the new rules by living them relentlessly every day. In this, sovereignty becomes your most powerful weapon. Not just freedom handed down by a broken world, but freedom claimed through your will, your choices, your refusal to accept less. It's about being critical, like your life depends on it, because it does. Questioning everything that's comfortable, everything you're told to believe, every convenient lie. Because transformation happens when you break your reality and rebuild it on your own terms. When you surround yourself not with many, but with the few who burn as fiercely as you do. That's the ecosystem where brilliance multiplies exponentially, not because of some magic formula, but because of relentless alignment, shared hunger, and brutal honesty. Most of all, don't expect this to be easy or popular. The world smiles as it traps you in comfort. True slavery wears a mask of convenience and approval, while burying your fire beneath conformity. Struggle is the price if you want to be free. And not free to fit into someone else's mold. The freedom to make the mold explode, to create something the world never dreamed possible. Brilliance demands patience. It's a marathon, not a sprint. An eternity, not a flash. But with the right network, the right warband of minds, as restless and rare as you, every step forward becomes a spark. Every challenge a chance to prove you're not here to play small or to settle. You're here to do the opposite. To systematize brilliance isn't about taking the magic out. It's about unleashing it, forcing it to flow through channels conceived for power, for connection, and for breaking every limit standing in your way. The call is out. Not for everyone, only for those who feel that unbearable tension, that low, burning unrest inside that says there's no going back. This is the moment to stop waiting for life to hand you permission. This is the moment to stop trying to adapt and start to build. To align with those who get it, who fight for it, who know the cost and the glory. Together, this network, the rare and the relentless, becomes more than individual flashes. It becomes a force impossible to ignore, unimaginable to contain. So the answer isn't in the old system, and it's not in lone genius. It's in the radical idea that brilliance can be built on, woven through, and amplified by decent people refusing to live small, refusing to tolerate mediocrity, refusing to settle for less. That's where real change happens. That's where the future is being made, and it's within grasp, if only you dare to take the step, to reject the lie, to embrace the fire, and to join the few who are building the system that brilliance deserves. The system built not for comfort or control, but for freedom, for power, for the new world the rare create, not tomorrow, but starting now.